Rachele Crooks is one of the many women who has accused Donald Trump of sexual misconduct. And she is not allowing some of the death threats and some of the intimidation that has been launched in her direction to deter her from sharing her story. In fact, she has made the decision to run as a lawmaker in her state of Ohio, just so she has a platform necessary to keep spreading the message of what she experienced by Donald Trump when she was only 22 years old. Now, at that time, she had actually left her small town of Seneca County, Ohio, and moved to New York City in an effort to start her career. And she was excited to be in New York, and she was especially excited to land a job as a receptionist at Trump Tower. Now, she was working for a specific company that operated out of Trump Tower, and she came into contact with Donald Trump, and she alleged that without any warning, he proceeded to kiss her without any consent. Now, I want to share her story with you in a little more detail. According to her account, in early February, she did launch a campaign to become a Democratic state representative in Ohio, in part so she can share her story more widely with voters across the state. Now, she's already had a couple events where she has talked about her story. In one of the events, she said the following: "It all happened at Trump Tower. I had just moved to New York and I was working as a secretary for another company in the building. That's where he forced himself on me. He took hold of my hand and held me in place. He started kissing me on one cheek, then the other cheek. He was talking to me in between kisses, asking where I was from or if I wanted to be a model. He wouldn't let go of my hand, and then he went right in and started kissing me on the lips. It felt like a long kiss. The whole thing probably lasted 2 minutes, maybe less." Now, she says that she doesn't want any money or any attention because of this story. She just wants to point out her story involving his misconduct. She says, "I don't want money, I don't need a lawsuit. I just want people to listen. How many women have to come forward? What will it take to get a response?" And I think that's a question that a lot of people are asking right now. It seems as though Donald Trump is completely untouched by all of these allegations. And more importantly, it seems as though his base, the people who voted for him, just either refuse to believe these women, or more importantly, do believe the women, but don't care.
Yeah, and so context about her story is, if she wanted to get rich or famous, she could have sued Donald Trump at the time or made allegations publicly at the time. She didn't. Now, if you just stop there, the Trump supporters will say, well, so then how do you know it happened? And of course, conveniently, right before the election, she comes forward. Well, you know it happened because she sent emails at the time. They're verified. They were in 2006. She sent it to her mom, to her sister, and to another friend a couple of days later. The same exact story that she's saying now and she said before the election. So she could have done 1,000 different things for the money at the time, and she didn't. She just noted it to her friends. And of course, as with a lot of the people who've gone through an ordeal like this, she was worried that she didn't do enough. And so she started to blame herself. It's the same story that we see over and over again. Maybe I should have been more forceful. Maybe I should have bit his lip. Maybe I should have told other people at work. But where does she work? She works at a place that had business dealings with Donald Trump. And she's afraid that she's not gonna be believed.
Well, exactly. So you're working in Trump Tower as a 22-year-old woman. Who are you gonna tell? You're gonna go and complain to whom? Security? And let them know, hey, the guy who this building is named after kissed me without my consent? I mean, what chance do you have of anyone going after Trump if you make those types of allegations? And keep in mind, she's 22 years old at the time, brand new to New York, really wants to succeed. Now, here's the part of the story that really got to me. She is in a part of Ohio that overwhelmingly voted for Trump. It seems as though some of her immediate family also voted for Trump, even though she had email evidence of the account that she is sharing publicly now. Back in 2006, when this happened, she emailed her mom about it, she emailed her sister about it, she emailed other family members about it, and we'll share those emails with you in just a second. But people in her town started coming after her. To give you some examples, she got comments like, "You ignorant, attention-seeking cow. Nobody would touch you, especially not Trump. You look like a boy. A gun to your head would be good for our nation. We know Trump has class, so why would he waste his time on some average chick like this?"
Yeah, well, that guy seems like he knows a lot about class, so I guess he's an expert on the topic. And every once in a while, the right wing will scream, "Oh, like these people, they want attention or they want money, and there's no downside to it." No downside to it.
There's nothing but downside.
Yeah, or they'll say like, "Oh, why didn't they just come forward earlier then?" Well, because they're afraid stuff like this is going to happen. And so when they do come out, oftentimes they're not believed. She said the security guards literally had the word Trump on their suits, right? So I'm going to go and complain to them, etc. And then just to prove her point, when she does come forward and say it, "You cow, you this, you should shoot yourself," etc. Gee, I wonder why people are a little reluctant to come forward.
So the issue of sexual assault has now, like everything else in the country, become so politicized, where you have people on the right, specifically Trump voters, who pretend like they care about sexual assault, who pretend like they care about the well-being of women and making sure that they're not victims of misconduct if there's someone on the left wing involved. But if there's someone on the right wing involved, whether it's Roy Moore, Donald Trump, or whoever, whatever goon that they have on their side, no, it doesn't matter. In fact, this is what should worry every single one of us, okay? 94% of Trump supporters told pollsters that their views were not impacted by the sexual harassment allegations against him because they don't care. They don't care. They loved running their mouths about Bill Clinton. And by the way, Bill Clinton, not an angel, deserved the criticism that he got. But it's interesting how they would run around talking about how he, is guilty of sexual misconduct, but they won't do the same thing when it comes to the president that they voted for.
And so we get nothing for our principled positions.
Nothing.
So if we say, hey, Bill Clinton shouldn't have done the things that he did, nobody comes and goes, hey, progressives, way to be principled, right? And the Republicans don't go, oh, you know what, golly gee, they're being principled, maybe we should be principled too. No, they don't care about their hypocrisy at all. They probably don't even realize it. They probably think, well, of course Clinton's a monster and Al Franken's a monster. Trump, who is alleged to have done things far worse by 19 different women, oh no, he's perfectly great. He's wonderful. I don't care that he did it. To them, hypocrisy is not an issue. They just don't care. They're gonna support their guy no matter what. And so, by the way, if you're a Republican woman or any kind of woman, with these guys in charge, God help you.
But don't call those women stupid for voting for people like Donald Trump. Don't talk about how you don't respect the women who vote for Donald Trump. The guy who himself on tape said that he grabs women by the genitals and kisses them without consent. I apologize if I hurt your feelings for telling you that I don't respect you for voting for this clown, okay? But it's because he doesn't respect you as a woman. He thinks that you're either a pig if you disagree with him. He will run his mouth and talk about how worthless you are if you have the audacity to go up against him. I mean, he has disrespected women time and time again. He's done it publicly time and time again. So if it hurts your feelings, if another woman says that she disrespects your decision to vote for him, sorry, but that's the reality of the situation.
Who cares?
Yeah, who cares? They get so fucking hurt, sorry, about someone criticizing them and their decision to support a monster like Donald Trump, but then they turn around and talk about how much they love how Trump tells it like it is. I'm telling it like it is, I don't respect you.
Okay. And so they get super triggered by that.
Yeah, they do, good.
And David Brooks and others are out there now going like, the Democrats and progressives need to respect gun owners more. What respect do they show us? When's the last time you saw a Republican or a conservative or a Trump supporter going, you know what guys, we really need to deeply respect liberals?
No, I'm tired of that.
What planet do you live on, brother?
I'm tired of that.
Okay, so look, to Anna's point there, first of all, that famous incident of Donald Trump talking about how he grabs women by the genitals and kisses them, and he can get away with it because they just let him do it because he's a star. Now, it's not that they let him do it, it's that they're too afraid to report him inside Trump Tower, for example. That tape of Trump saying that was a couple of months before he did it to this particular woman. So he's told Billy Bush, then a couple months later he sees a woman and he does exactly what he said he does in that tape.
So Rachele Crooks is saying, look, this happened at Trump Tower. Why don't we release surveillance that will prove what I'm saying happened? Why won't we do it? She has asked several times and she has not received a single response. By the way, she did send emails to her family on the day that this happened, and she shared that with the press. The email she had sent to her mother at 1:27 that afternoon in 2006 said the following: "Hey Ma, my day started off rough, had a weird incident with Mr. Trump." The email she sent a few hours later to her sister at 3:05 p.m. "I must just appear to be some dumb girl that he can take advantage of." She also sent an email to another family member later saying, "Ah, yes, the Donald kiss, very creepy man, let me tell you."
So that was back in 2006 when it happened. She did not try to take, we have to say absurd things like she didn't try to take advantage of that situation. She was a victim. There's nothing, but like in the insanity of the right wing, what does she gain from it? All she did was private emails saying, "I can't believe that Donald Trump did this." At that time, he's not running for president. He's not anywhere near running for president. There is no other agenda. She's not some sort of FBI plant sent in from 12 years, in a hot tub time machine, etc. It actually happened. Get it through your thick skull. And some of you, if you're Trump supporters and you're women, you think, yeah, what do you mean? I got it. So he fondles and kisses women without getting their consent. So what? Okay, then let me go a little farther than Anna. And I'm not saying this in a way that I hope that it happens. I hope it never happens because I'm actually a decent person. That's why I'm a progressive. But fair warning to you guys, that means Donald Trump and Republican men can do that to you at any time. And then 94% of your fellow Republicans will say, don't care. Oh, he sexually assaulted you. Who cares? Oh, go next to Donald Trump. Go next to other Republican politicians. Go next to other Republican leaders. Let them fondle you over and over and over again. You know what your fellow Republicans are gonna say, including most of the women? Don't care.
My issue with that is not only are you enabling that type of behavior toward you, you're enabling that type of behavior toward all women. You are sending the message that that type of behavior perpetrated by men is acceptable. How am I supposed to sit here and be okay with that? By the way, just as a reminder, here's what Trump famously said in that Billy Bush tape. I'm automatically attracted to beautiful women. I just start kissing them. It's like a magnet, just kiss. I don't even wait. And when you're a star, they let you do it. You can do anything.
That's exactly what he did here. You just watched the video by the Young Turks, the home of the revolution. If you'd like to get the full show, come join us and become a member. tytnetwork.com/join.